I am your host of Across Generations, Tiffany D. Cross, and this is the only place where you will hear three different perspectives from three distinct generations of Black women, and I'm so thrilled to invite you to this conversation. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Across Generations. I'm your host, Tiffany D. Cross, and today I want to talk about hip-hop. So I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, and in fact, the very first album I was gifted was Hot, Cool, Vicious, Salt and Pepper. I used to love Salt and Pepper. You guys remember that album cover? It was like red and blue and purple. I used to love MC Lyte and Moni Love, Queen Latifah, and then when I became a teenager, the genre changed a bit. So then there was Yo-Yo, Lady of Rage, Eve, The Brat, Trina, Missy Elliott, and of course the legend herself, Lauryn Hill. But no two women dominated the genre during my college and high school years like Foxy Brown and Lil' Kim. These two artists unveiled Black women's sexuality in an unapologetic way. It made women the subject instead of the object. Women took control of their sexual narrative and centered their own desires and their own sensuality. And then we were off, guys, because now Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, Glorilla, and others have really redefined the genre yet again in different ways. And I wonder, as I'm older, what to make of this new generation of female rappers, because sometimes I hear lyrics that make me wince, but then I got to check myself and say, well, what's the difference between what this generation of MCs are saying and what I was rapping along to in my teen and college years, and quite frankly, will still rap along to today. So I'm here to have an amazing conversation, and I'm so excited about the two guests joining me. We have Cleotrapa. She is a dynamic rapper and artist whose bold lyrics and unique style are making waves in the music industry. She's here to share her perspective on hip hop and the power of women in the game. And I will tell you guys, I've been Google stalking her for 48 hours. So I am officially a Cleotrapa expert. And we also have joining us, I'm so honored to have this legendary woman with me, Roxanne Shanté, Dr. Gooden to some of you folks. She is one of the pioneers of hip hop. Roxanne burst onto the scene in the 80s and has been a trailblazer for women in the genre ever since. So I'm so happy to have you ladies joining me.
Thank you for having us.
So I've been telling you, I was such a fan growing up, listening to you, and I was on the phone with my brother when you walked in, and I was like, guess who I'm about to interview? So I've been talking about you all morning, so I'm officially a fan of both you ladies.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I think you guys are very well positioned to have this conversation with me because, one, we chatted a little bit, and you're a supporter of women. And I think that is something that we don't often see pronounced in the genre all the time. And you, off the bat, said, I support my hip hop sisters. I support sisters, period. So I love it. What I didn't realize, because I was so young, I didn't realize that you were so young when you entered the game. You were like 14 years old.
Yes.
And entered in a beef. What was the scariest part about that, being just a kid?
Well, when it comes to hip hop, especially when it comes to being a female in hip hop, I came in as a battle rapper. I came in as a battle artist. So one of the main things for me was I did it for the money. The main factor was going out, finding different battles, going there and being able to win the money, bring it home, and literally just take care of my family. So it had became a source of income where for a lot of other people, it happened to be something that they like to do. It happened to be a hobby. It happened to be something fun. But for me, it was a job from day one. I started literally entering in battles when I was about 10 years old. I had something called the Nipsey Russell syndrome. And that's something that I nicknamed it because when people say, well, who influenced you? Was there a female in hip hop that influenced you? And no, it wasn't. For me, it was Nipsey Russell. And Nipsey Russell was a comedian. Yeah. And he had the ability to be able to rhyme at any time about anything. So for me, I picked up on that ability and called it the Nipsey Russell syndrome. So that's what allowed me to be very good when it came to battles because people were not able to, they always came with something written. And I respect those who come with something written. Yeah. But when you come with someone that has the ability to just jump in at any time, whatever it is that you had written is no longer going to work for you because now you're going to lose because the crowd is going to go with whatever has a constant flow. Yeah. So coming in at an early age and being able to do that was great for me. It got to a point where in New York City, they wouldn't even allow me to enter battles anymore because they would say, wait, if it's the little girl with the braces, don't let her enter because I was literally just going around collecting money. They'd be like, oh no, let me see open your mouth, let me see. And, they'd be like, no, you can't enter, because it didn't matter who the competition was. And I walk with that proudly.
Yeah.
And even when I was listening to you do your intro for hip hop, I love all of my hip hop sisters. I respect what they do. And, today I have a wonderful relationship with them, but we weren't in the same class.
Right.
We didn't do the same things. They had great albums. They were able to do great videos. I have great stories. I have a great history, and so now I could sit back and enjoy my greatness.
Yes. And we still enjoy and honor and salute your greatness.
Thank you.
I was struck by you saying like there was nobody for you to look up to. Of course, because you were one of the pioneers. You were like the first. I can't even imagine who you would look up to.
Well, you have Chirac.
Well,
You have Chirac,
true.
you have the Mercedes ladies. There's an entire generation of female rappers before me, but they just weren't like me.
Right.
So, so it was like there wasn't one that I could look up that did what I did, that would be outside that time of night at that age.
Yeah.
Or would be at those clubs, or would go through those things. Like literally, I was the first little girl that they would see in these places, whether it was the Fever or, any club that you can literally name from the 80s. It was one of those things where you'd be like, oh, wait, what's this little girl doing here?
Yeah.
And, literally it'd be like, oh, I'm just here to collect the money.
You were too talented for the cipher.
I'm just here to collect the money.
I love that. Cleotrapa, I have to tell you, as a journalist, I am so in love with your IG feed now. I'm a new follower. I am obsessed. Grammar is such a big deal to me. I am so great. I literally think you are teaching people, you are educating people on grammar. But I'm curious, do you consider yourself like a hip hop artist, or are you like an influencer? Like, did you get into this to do that, or were you like, no, I was just doing grammar?
I definitely started doing music first.
Okay.
But in order to gain like a following and just attention, I started just doing videos and stuff, because I always had a big personality. So that was like something that I did to just bring attention to myself. But I would like, do freestyle videos and stuff like that on the side. So that's how it kind of like intertwined, but it was always music first.
I love that. And so what do you make of, because like there is a contrast between when Roxanne Shanté was like rocking these ciphers, like I don't even know if that still happens. Like, do people still go in ciphers and freestyle and battle?
People still do that. People definitely still battle rap. I used to watch that so much growing up.
Yeah.
Like Queen of the Ring. I used to be obsessed with Queen of the Ring. Like, it used to be so crazy. And then me and my friends, we would like go online and like write these big paragraphs, but it would be like raps, but we would just be like sending them to each other. So we used to watch Queen of the Ring all the time growing up. Mm-hmm.
I was watching you in a video where you were rapping, and it was just you. Like, you're just in camera rapping, you know? And I think at some point through the commercialization of hip hop, no diss to it, because I'm happy to see people making money from it. You know, I think it came to define so much about our culture.
Yes.
Who knew that it was going to be this global movement?
Yeah.
But there were no special effects, so all we had to focus on when I was watching you was just your bars, just your lyrics. Is that intentional, or do you want to have like more flash? Because I enjoyed hearing you.
I think that was like the vibe of that specific video.
Yeah.
I feel like you're talking about the one when I was like outside a building.
No, you were inside. It was like a purple wall behind you, and you were like, you kept talking about like measure, don't ever.
You so funny. I don't know, but I do know when I record, I definitely put like ad-libs and stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, like it's different versus like the videos and stuff that people put out now to like promote their music and just to show like their talent. They don't normally have like effects and stuff versus when you would be in the studio, like layering your music, putting different vocals down, you know, so it sounds more clear and you can really like hear your voice when we do those kind of videos.
Who are some of the MCs that helped influence your style and who you look up to?
I definitely look up to Nicki Minaj. I love Nicki Minaj. Nice. I love Foxy Brown, Missy Elliott, like those kind of vibes.
Yeah.
Because Foxy definitely, like, the way she dressed,
Yes.
the way, like, she just expressed herself in her videos, she's just so raunchy and just so hard. Like, and Nicki followed those footsteps. So it's like, love Nicki to death. And I think with Nicki is more different because she actually really made it like a brand. Like, she really, like, she's been doing it for a long time and consistently.
Yeah.
It's like the same way she started. Obviously, when you start, you're bigger, but like she's still that girl. She still is the same just energy around her. She just grew it. It's just bigger than life, for real.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Who are some of the younger folks that you watch now and you're like, they're dope?
You know, I listen to all of them, and a lot of times people tell me to pick a favorite, and being the person who I am, I really don't have a favorite because everyone represents something. Like you can have Lauryn Hill days, you can have Nicki Minaj days, you can have Megan Thee Stallion days, you can have Cardi B days, you can have Glorilla days, you can have all of these different days. You know what I'm saying? Cleotrapa. You can have these days where you're going to listen to certain songs because that's what it does for you.
Yeah.
So therefore, I don't have a favorite. I can't say, okay, this is my favorite artist. This is who I'm following right now because this is who I like. Because I may get in a car and play something else and say, okay, you know what? This is who I like. I think that comes from being a mom so early that I tend to look at them now. There's moments where, you know, I have given my number out to everyone. And there are moments where I will get phone calls from them, you know, and they'll be like, you know what, big sis, I'm just having a moment right now. Nobody understands what I'm going through. And I'll say, okay, but listen, the catch is to keep going through it. Don't stop. Whatever you do, don't stop. Because if you stop and you stand in this, you may get stuck. You may get stagnant. So just keep going through it. And he'd be like, yo, you know what? You're right. That's what I'm going to do. Because you'll be surprised. People always look at everybody for what they see on the television, what they see on the internet, what they're seeing on Instagram, what they're seeing on TikTok, all of these different things. But you also got to realize that these are real women who go through real issues. And sometimes the trust level is not there because they don't know who to trust because so many people want to say yes because they want to wear your clothes and they want to drive your car and they want to hold your jewelry and they want to be able to get into the places that you get into that they can't get in unless they go with you. So in order to do that, they want to pacify your emotions and your feelings. You know, me, I don't care where you're going. I don't care what you drive. I don't care what you do. The main thing is I care about you genuinely. So people call me to get that genuine conversation, you know, to get that one-on-one with someone that's been there, someone that they can say, okay, you know what it's like to hold $1 million. You know what it's like to look at these things. Like recently, because now I have dispensaries. So
let's talk about that after the show.
Oh, absolutely. I could get you some granny gum. I got you.
Perfect.
So what I've done is what I've always told everybody, and even now sitting here with you, one of the main things that I try to tell my hip hop sisters is, in the beginning, you are going to be about name brands. But when you realize it, you are going to make your name a brand, and you won't wear anything else. You know, you get to the point where the name brands will call you up and want to send you everything, and you'll say thank you. And you will take it because you will like it. But your main focus will be to understand that I no longer need to chase name brands because my name is a brand. So when I come outside, it doesn't matter what I have on. I'm still going to be Shanté. It's still going to be recognizable. I'm still going to be who I am. But how do they recognize you? What do they see you as when they see you? You know, when people see you, do they say, oh, I don't like her. I don't like her style. I don't like the way she is. Or do people see you and stop and say, hey, peace, queen, I love you. You know, so it's all about how you want your brand to be perceived.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why when we look at these lyrics and we look at certain things, I always try to remind them that when you see these beautiful sisters and you see them sometimes and they're wearing certain outfits, that is their uniform for work. No one walks around like that all day, every day. They just don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In their calmest moment, in their most relaxing moment, in their moment of being themselves, you won't see them in that. But this is now the way that they have put that uniform on in order to show them, you know, show what they're doing and everything else. And I never want anybody to lose sight of the fact that, you know, our hip hop says, do you know how hard it is to be a female rapper? If you think it's hard being a woman, imagine how hard it is being a female rapper, where everywhere you go, you got to wonder, what is this for? What is this move for? You know, if the trust issues is there, you know, people can say that they don't have them, but the trust issues is there. That's why so many female rappers, unfortunately, tend to let their man be their manager because they feel like that's my man and he loves me and whatever I'm going to go through, I might as well let him be my manager also. And I tell them all the time, like, no, because if he can't manage your relationship, he can't manage your career.
Yeah.
You know, and I say that as an auntie. I say that as a big sister. I don't say that as someone who wants to be you or someone who wants to be in your place. Because like Roxanne Shanté, like I love life. And I love my life.
Yeah.
And though it has never been easy, I wouldn't want it any other way.
Yes.
You know, when you think about it, like the end of the year, I have the one woman show on Broadway. I just became a grandmaster in last year at the end of the year when they were talking about rappers weren't going platinum. Roxanne Shanté went platinum.
Period.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You know what I mean? So when you're talking about what doesn't sell and what sells and what doesn't happen and what happens, it's those who make certain moves and understand who they are that move properly and that they're just comfortable. Like just being, that's where you want to get to the point of. You want to get to the point of comfortable because if you had an uncomfortable childhood, which some of us have had, we've had an uncomfortable childhood. The only thing you want to do is be comfortable, you know, in the latter part of your life. Like when I was talking to you, I said, when I sat here and I'm looking at you and I see so much Foxy. I see so much
Me
style.
too.
I see so much chocolate, so much smile, so much pizzazz, so much everything, you know. And when I look at you and I see that and I said, like, how old are you? And then when you told me your age, and I was like, damn, I'm twice your age and then some. So really, when time comes on, you want to be at twice your age. This is what you want to do. You know, at twice your age, you want to sit back and say, okay, look, I got 7 million people waiting on me. You know what I mean? And I got to get to them. And you want to prioritize that because you know who's your pack and who follows you and who you fed into. So you know that those people are there guaranteed all the time because that's the way you've treated your fans. So yeah, definitely that's what you want to do. So you want to be able to be twice your age from now. Just imagine twice your age from now. You want to be able to say, okay, I drive a new car every year. Whatever car I want. I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. I buy cheap cars because I don't want no car notes. I don't want to worry. Like I go out with people and everybody be worried about where their cars parked. Hit my shit. I don't care because mine is brand new, but it's paid off. You know what I'm saying? So you know, so I drive a little Bronco. You know, nice little. Unique,
it loses value as soon as you drive it off the lot.
A nice, unique little color that everybody doesn't have. And then the main thing is when we sitting down and we having dinner. You know, you worried about your Bentley. You can't even digest your food properly. I'm eating food off your plate because you playing with it. I'm like, yo, listen, you sit here worried about where your car's parked. You worried about if you're going to get towed. You worried about this, man. You better worry about whether or not this cools off so that you can enjoy your food and enjoy your life. And I think that's what Roxanne Shanté represents. I represent the life after.
Yes.
And you can be comfortable with it. Am I in a gated community? No. Do I have a gate around my house? Yes. I live in Newark, New Jersey, but I live in, you know, you can look at that home, then you can go to another home, you can go to another home, you can look at your businesses, you can look at your children. Like when I look at my children, the main thing about it, and the funny thing is about it is that my children, my oldest is close to your age, and my youngest is older than you. So we just
I'm 45.
We just gonna leave them numbers out there.
Okay.
And the main thing about it is when I sit back and I look at my children, I say to myself like, man, they really have the best of me.
Yeah.
Because they're nothing like me. Like if there's something where my son handles management, so I am where I'm at today because of my son. He handles management. He makes sure I'm where I'm supposed to be, doing what I'm supposed to do. He's the one who says, take that down. Like if I post up something, you know, my son.
So he PR too.
Yeah, absolutely. So he sees something, he's like, take that down.
That you like, need. That's what the younger generation.
Yeah, he'd be like, Ma.
What I love what you said about, because this show centers Black women, and I love that you said you love your life.
I do.
And I think that's so important. By the time you come into this
I do. You
life,
see how I'm dressed. You gotta love life. You get ready to do a podcast with everybody and you show up like this. Yeah, you gotta love life.
Well, you have to love yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, and then that's loving your life. And so I really think like successful women make the best friends because none of us covet each other's life. You know,
right.
I'm happy to see somebody else shine. When Roxanne Shanté was talking about the yes people around you, I feel like you're right at that point where everybody around you, they want to be next to you, you know. Like that. Yes, and everybody is a yes person essentially. How are you navigating this newfound fame and success?
Well, honestly, I look at it like I'm not too into like making a lot of new friends at this moment because I feel like it is going to give like, yes, and it is going to give like, I want to come here with you and want to go there. It's like I'm more into the people that was here before that, you know what I'm saying? And as long as you still around, we outside. Me and my girls that been my girls since I was a little girl.
Yes.
So I'm okay with that. Like and then I'm not saying like I don't want to be friends with nobody, but that's just how it is right now. I'm playing it cool. I'm playing, you know what I'm saying? People come around and I want it to be genuine, not like, oh girl, you so funny. And now we friends, and it's like, it's a little skeptical.
Yeah. Well, I wanna ask about something. You say whatever you like about it, because we are in the spirit of sisterhood. But we're talking about like friendships being in sisterhood, connecting. And it seemed you came into the game in a beef. And I just learned about this morning, that there's a beef with you, and I forgive my ignorance. Y'all, I'm 45, so forgive my ignorance on all the people, but I can't name one Ice Spice song, but everybody was telling me like there's a beef. Do you want to say what is happening?
It's not a beef.
Okay.
Well, it was a miscommunication, and that's really what it was. It was a miscommunication, and when you have friends and you express yourself to your friends, because obviously you want to have friends that you could express yourself to and tell them how you feel.
Yeah.
So it was just one of those kind of things where I told my friend something and she just turned it around. Like, I guess she didn't like that I even spoke up. And that
this
was
is
kind
Ice
of
Spice, the friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was weird like that, and that's pretty much it.
Did you guys make up? Are y'all cool now?
No, I don't plan on making up with her either.
Okay.
That's just the end of that. I like people around me that I can express myself to, that can express themselves to me, that don't think they bigger than life and don't think they too big to be told about themselves. I don't like shit like that. That's corny to me. So that's.
Were you guys friends before? Or you became friends before the industry? Or did you guys become friends after?
I've been associated with the industry before she was.
Okay.
So I would say we became more cool after the fact, but like we would, like each other's stuff, comment on each other's stuff, whatever. And then when her song came out, like her viral song came out, we eventually seen each other at an award show. So that's how we became, that's how we met.
Okay.
And yeah.
Well, I wish for you peers in this industry and strong friendships that way, because I think it's so.
You need that.
Yeah.
You need that.
Yeah.
For real. No, you really not in this industry. You definitely don't. You don't need an industry, but in general, you do need
friends. Let me tell you, and I'm not cutting in, but friends definitely. You're gonna have your friends. You're gonna have your friends that are like your sisters, and you're gonna have your friends that are there to tell you what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it. They're gonna have the ones that check you and tell you when you're in the right and when you're in the wrong. But in the industry, people can say this a million times if they want to, but that's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
that's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen until either artist is at the level that they want to be, where they don't see the other one as a potential danger, as a threat, or as full competition.
Yeah.
And that does not happen. Naturally, we are competitive beings. People will say what they need to say when they think other people are hearing. So they're going to say what they feel needs to be said just in case someone else overhears it. Girl, yeah, no, I love you. But what they choose to say at another moment, that is what they really feel. That is going to be the issue of it. So because of that, no, that's not going to be the case. Your best set of friends are going to be the friends that don't do what you do, don't go where you go, and don't want what you have. Those are going to be your best set of friends. I have the same 5 friends from my entire life through foster care and everything. Like literally my same 5 friends. That's what I have. Now, like I said, do I love my hip hop sisters? Absolutely. Yeah. Do I support them? Absolutely. Some of them we have grown into a more mature friendship. But when we were younger, and we were very competitive, the companies don't allow you to do that. Management doesn't allow you to do that. Boyfriends don't allow you to do that. Other friends don't allow you to do that. So what happens is you waste a lot of time, energy, and resources trying to make that happen when that's not a possibility. Now, people can say what they want to say about Roxanne Shanté, but one thing they can say is she the motherfucking truth. And people have a hard time living a lie when the truth is in the room.
But can I want to push back on this a bit, because it's your life experience, which I, of course, understand and respect. But I have to say, personally, I mean, maybe news is different than hip-hop, of course.
Absolutely.
But I don't know where I would be in my career without my close friends who sometimes we are competitors, but they are my sisters. Like, we share.
But are they on the show with you?
They have been, yeah.
I'm saying like they do the same thing you do
We
every
literally,
day.
so my Angela Rise, one of my closest friends, Jamel Hills, one of my closest, Joy Ann Reed, one of my closest friends, Sunny Hostin on The View, one of my closest friends. Like we are a tight crew. Carrie Champion, Jamel Hill, like all of us, we are all in the same industry. We share salary information. If somebody invites us to speak, we say this is how much this person paid me, and if they're not paying you that much, they need to. If somebody needs to be put on somewhere, we travel. I just cannot imagine my life without being able to turn to them.
I'm here to
and say
tell
these
you
things.
that news is absolutely different.
But when you were talking
I was
about,
gonna say female rap is a little bit more competitive than journalism.
Listen,
maybe, but I don't. Journalism is very competitive, but I want to say because what you were talking about, you were like the industry doesn't allow it. Management doesn't allow it.
So when I say the industry and when I say management, when it comes to female rappers, they are always going to be pitted against each other because they're only going to allow it to be one female rapper at a time. Now we have a few at a time because I am so thankful that we are now in a position where we make our own business decisions, where we control more of the management, where we control the company, where people are doing more independent. So there is more say-so. But when it first started out, it was like literally you're over here, she's over here, you two guys don't talk to each other for the main reason of what you said, which is not to share information because
they win though.
Nobody knows if one artist doesn't tell another artist about publishing and writers and how important that is.
Right.
Then you don't know. So they're getting publishing checks and you're not getting publishing checks. They're getting royalty checks. You're not getting royalty checks because you don't know. So you're talking about someone that comes into the industry as a child and you're learning as you go along. Now in journalism, and this is to say that, did you start when you were 14? Were you on TV when
15.
you were 15? Okay.
Yeah.
So you started when you were 15.
I left home early too.
Who handled your contracts?
Well, at that time I didn't have contracts. I came up through NABJ, the National Association of Black Journalists. So I left home when I was 16 and figured things out for myself. I didn't get to the point in my career where I needed like agents and lawyers until I was like in my late 20s.
Okay.
So I was kind of out there.
So now female rappers, sometimes the point of their career is starting to change when they're in their late 20s. So now all of that time before then, from 16 to your late 20s, when you first started getting lawyers and you first started getting contracts and you first started seeing that, a female rapper has been out here busting her ass from every moment all the way up until that point. So now in her late 20s, she's trying to figure out, okay, what am I supposed to do with life from this point on? Because the heat from then is not the same now because it's a certain, and I don't care what rapper it is. It goes from a certain amount of time to a certain amount of time. Then you must transition into what is going to be your next phase.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So for you, when you started at 15 and you said, okay, well, I was under this and this is what I was doing, and then it didn't get to that point till my late 20s, a female rapper wait till her late 20s, it may be over.
But I guess the thing is when a door was open for me, I'm holding it on. I'm like, come on, y'all, like come in here. I want to share that success with people. It would be lonely for me, and it hurts me that I know you have friends who you've had forever, but I would love for like all these female rappers, because everything you're saying, the industry won't allow it. It's like at the end of the day, that's the white man's money, and the white man is protecting his money. Like we operate under a different set of rules than the oppressor's rules. And as long as they're dividing us, saying, no, you can't rock with this one, or as long as you're letting a man come between, there is something magical that happens when black women come together.
Oh, no, it's a beautiful thing.
So I don't like the idea that we can't be in the same genre and be genuine friends and look out for each other.
I don't like it either, no shade, but that's your experience. That's what it is, though. That's what it really be. And I feel like you could be one way, but majority is a different way. So it's like you're not gonna force yourself to want to be around certain people, and I'm not one of those people. So
how does it change though? If somebody has to be the one to say, no, sis, I'm here for you to support you.
That would be cute if it changed.
but aren't we the change? As women in whatever genre,
well, I'm
can
gonna
we
tell
be the
you,
change?
like when you think about it now, okay. I share my platform with everyone.
Yes.
And even coming up, I've always shared my platform with everyone. I have not had the ability or the choice during that time to share it with women. But I've shared it with all of my hip hop brothers, from Nas to Killer Mike, I have a show, I bring them on, we do the show, but that is because that is the way it was instructed. It was instructed that, okay, you have a girlfriend, and your girlfriend, she wants to rap too, but only one of you can be number one. This is just what's told. Like, only one of you can be number one. So, for
Have
me...
you had Method Man on your show by any chance?
Absolutely.
Okay, if he comes back for research purposes, I would love to be there, so... I know he's married. I'm just kidding. You guys.
She came out of nowhere with. She just came out of nowhere with.
When you were naming all those people, I was like,
to plug that in.
Right. So, but here's the thing. So you want to make sure that you share your platform.
Yes.
So I can sit back say, okay, look at what my hip hop brothers have done, and then I listen to their gratitude. I listen to them give me flowers and everything else. But I really went in the park for women. I went in the park for girls. I went in the park and literally got pushed down, microphone snatched from me, fought and everything else because I wanted to prove that girls were good, girls were great, that girls could do this also. And when I went to the girls, like, yeah, we can do this. And they was like, you from the group home.
Wow.
So you're not, and there was certain colorisms. Like if you,
I was just about to ask
like
about
if you,
that.
Let me tell you, if you go into the Roxanne thing, I was the first Roxanne, right?
Yeah.
And then they said, well, that wouldn't be the girl we would go after, not no brown skinned girl with a whole bunch of bushy hair and slanted eyes. And even though that's what it is now, because people are drawing them on, everybody wants that now.
Yeah.
But growing up, that wasn't the thing. And they were like, no. So they went and got a light skinned Roxanne. And then when they got rid of her, they went and got a Spanish Roxanne.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, so what are they going to do now? And they was like, well, there's only one color left. If they go anyplace else, you ain't gotta, but for
ain't
me,
no white Roxanne
but
out
for
there.
me, it was wanting to represent, like, this is how great we are. Like, being cocoa complexioned.
Yeah.
Being pecan tan. Being this beautiful honey-coated complexion. Like, my grandma and my mother, I am so thankful to have been raised by these women because they made sure I never felt bad about it.
Yeah.
Never felt bad about it.
Do you experience, because I understand it from the 80s. I'm like, guys, in 2024 and 2025, are we still dealing with colorism?
I mean, yeah.
And give me an example of how you navigate that.
I mean, I honestly don't be really caring because I know I'm beautiful. Nobody can tell me no different.
Because you are very beautiful.
Thank you. But obviously, like, as a child growing up, it affected me more. Like, people would tease me, of course, call me all sorts of monkeys and all this other stuff.
Black people.
And, yeah, so I just look at it like I love myself even more for going through all of that and just ending up being who I am at the end of the day. Because there's people that would have chewed some people up and they probably would have hated themselves forever.
Did you ever, though? Like, did it ever penetrate where you were like, this hurt my feelings?
Yeah, of course. But I think all of that just made me who I am today. Like,
but how did you overcome? Like, how did you transition?
I tease people back.
Yeah.
I tease people back. I had a lot of what they called it,
comebacks.
Yeah, exactly. I had comebacks for days. That's why I'm as funny as I am today.
Yeah.
That's why my personality is as big as it is today, because I had to come up with some shit a lot. And I was funny. I was very funny. I was not letting nobody win that.
So that level of self-hate in the community is definitely concerning. But then when it comes to the industry, you know, like, do you deal with people, like, trying to lighten your skin? I'll tell you, in news, when the makeup artist would do my makeup, they would assume that I wanted to look lighter when I like to look more bronze. So there's this assumption, like, let me lighten your skin or let me, make your hair
nobody's ever going to play with my skin or no picture or no edit. I do my makeup a lot of the time, too.
Yourself?
Yeah, I did this.
You did that? Yeah. It is beautiful.
Thank you.
I've had to do that too, because makeup artists don't always know how to do it.
They don't always know how to do it. But that's been going on. That whole lighting your skin up. I had just seen the other day online that somebody had posted like a thread of pictures of Foxy Brown where she was just lightened up, and it's like they showed like the original picture and they showed the edited picture. And I was just like, wow, I didn't even know her skin looked like this in this picture. They really would lighten it up. They would even put they'll make it like probably like a kind of like black and white kind of thing, so so you don't even really notice her skin color. It was just a lot. People, they still do stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna let nobody play with me like that.
Good.
You know?
I love your confidence. I
you.
appreciate that. And I think we got to buck the
Absolutely.
industry of, them dividing us as
Yes.
women, because they the only people who win with that. All right, I want to ask y'all a question. I might get lose my amen corner here, but I was for real in the intro when I was talking about some of the lyrics I hear now. This is the difference. Yes, Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown, they like owned their sexuality. They were rapping about sex and owned it. And I remember being young, like rapping along with it. What I noticed is at that time, they were talking about what felt good to them, what they like for them. Now, sometimes the more sexual rap lyrics are all about what feels good to the man, like what I'm doing for the man. I don't know, something about that just concerns me. I'm not even trying to be one of those get off my lawn people or clutching my pearls. Like, I ain't even like that, but I hear it and I'm like, this all seems like some of it anyway seems like it's for the men and not necessarily owning sexuality in the same way. Do y'all experience that, or am I?
I don't know. I'm not even gonna lie. I love female rap.
Yeah.
But I probably don't even listen to it that much to even peep those kind of lyrics. I swear to God, I listen to everything else.
It seems like though that is what rises to the top. Like you have like conscious like Rhapsody, out there, but it does seem like when you're rapping about dick sucking, like that's the thing that gets heavy rotation. And I wonder
maybe so
why that
because
might
it's the niggas. The niggas is behind everything. The men are behind everything. So that's probably what they want to hear. That's what they want to hear. That's what they're gonna push.
So then, to me, it seems like we need more people in positions of power.
Yeah.
Green lighting. So what is
Absolutely.
the industry?
Of course, yeah.
Well, I wonder, like, what does it look like now, and especially what did it look like then? I would surmise when in your era, it was a lot of white executives trafficking
Absolutely.
in black culture, profiting off of it, and that's why a lot of rappers were selling, their masters and not being paid what they deserve. Now, I don't know how diverse the industry is on the executive and management side of
I've
things.
seen a lot of more black women though. It could be more, you know, but I've seen there's a difference. It seems like there's a difference. There's more black people. There could be more black women. But eventually we do need to push them all the way to the back.
Yeah, because I feel like you
that.
should be owning your, And then I wonder what kind of, so are you with a label?
I'm under a distribution,
Okay, all right. Do you want to say who?
United Masters.
Okay, all right. And are you happy with how they treat you?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. You've had financial longevity. Like, you're okay. But then a lot of times, like, people who are hugely successful, the finances don't run as long. And I remember Method Man said this when he was talking about a lot of these young rappers and these mansions. He's like, what kind of deals y'all getting? Because when I was in the game, like, we ain't get those deals. He was calling them out a little bit, like, stop fronting. And a lot of the lyrics I hear, too, it kind of transitioned to like, look at what I got and you ain't got nothing. And I'm like, damn, the people who buying your records who don't have nothing, like, I don't want to hear that. You know?
It's crazy. People still gonna want to rap that. They still gonna want to rap that.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's something about the audience being attracted to it.
Aspirational.
Like they want that. They
Yeah.
want that. They want to be able to put that under their picture. Like, I got them shark boots too. Like, you feel me? Even if they can't afford it, if they gonna spend their last check, at least they get to live a little bit like the rappers that they look up to. For real.
Yeah.
It's cute.
I want us to promote like some black folks too. 'Cause I'm like, we making Gucci rich, we making Prada
Yeah,
rich.
right.
Exactly. Where are the black dollars staying in the black community?
No, that's true. There is a lot of black brands now too, though. There is a lot,
Absolutely.
and they've been getting a lot of mentions too.
Yeah. Telfar. That's a good-
Telfar is a good example too.
Yeah.
Brandon Blackwood.
Salome Monet, that's a black owned brand. too.
Natasha
So, yeah.
Somalia.
Yes, yes. See, we shouting out the black designers here.
Absolutely.
I love
But
it.
I think what it is also hip hop started off in poverty. And the main goal was to rhyme about the things that you wanted. And then there was a generation of hip hop that was able to achieve those things. What we want to focus now on is, have they been able to preserve and keep those things? See, I sit back and I watch a lot of rappers and I say to myself, like, okay, I understand that, but in 10 years, where are they going to be? And it's so unfortunate that so many of our young hip hop artists, when they're hitting close to that mark, they're starting to die, because it gets to a point where it's hard for them to even think about living without those things. But when they can no longer generate those things, I think COVID scared so many artists.
Yes. Yeah.
Because those who were living huge check to huge check, when those huge checks stopped, they, one, got a chance to see who's around them. They also got a chance to see what investments they need to start making and where their money really needs to go. Because I've now observed where it's starting to be pushed that it doesn't have to be real. It doesn't need to be real in order to be right. They are now pushing the fact where, okay, my husband spent a lot for this.
I've been staring at it too, boo.
Me too. You can't even see what a Titanic hit is.
So my husband spent a lot for this. So for me to see another rapper and he has 100 of these around his neck.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just doesn't seem possible to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then it doesn't seem smart to me either.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now someone comes along and says, we now make stones that can fool even the jewelers. And if somebody comes up to you and tries to test your jewelry, we got something that'll make it scream like it's still a diamond.
Yeah.
So now they're making everything fake
It's fugazi.
to be acceptable. So now with everyone accepting everything that's fake, what really do you have that is real? That's when you really have to be into yourself. You have to feel really good about yourself.
Yeah.
You have to recognize the real in you. When I see an artist and he walks up and he just has on a regular pair of jeans and his regular jacket, and I say to myself, he's smart. Others say he's broke. Others say he's this. But the catch is, I saw what he pulled up in.
Yeah.
I see where he lives.
Right.
I see his wife.
Right.
So now I'm starting to notice the transition where people want to talk about investments.
Yes.
People
want to
talk about owning stuff. People want to be able to say, okay, listen, we want you to be an entrepreneur. We want you to do these things because when all of this is over, when your time passes and it's time for you to pass the crown to the reason why life is good for me is because when I understood it was time for me to hand over the ruling
Dr.
for the next
Gooden.
generation,
Yes.
it was okay for me.
Yeah.
Because my thing was like, okay, she's the next queen, that's fine. Now, every queen doesn't give their crown because you get to keep your own jewels. That's your jewels, that's your name, those are your jewels. But what you do is you say, okay, listen, I'm now passing the people to you. It is your turn to lead. I led them here, now you do this. And then I go off and do what queens do. I go live in another castle. I relax. I have grands. I walk through the garden. I laugh. I giggle, and I get a chance to talk to people every day on the radio. But the main thing is I get a chance to be okay because it's your turn now.
You're the
And
queen.
here's the thing. Heavy is the head that wears
I was
the
just
crown.
about to say, it ain't that
So
easy
everybody
carrying
wants
that
the crown, but they don't even understand
Yeah.
what you need to do because you have to dodge. Nowadays, you have to dodge everything.
Right.
See, before, you didn't have to dodge as much.
What is the hardest thing about wearing that crown?
Oh, you gotta ask Nikki, boo.
You're the next,
I like the
you're
way
the
she said
next
that.
generation,
No, but I feel like people, it's just, you just have a lot of people watching you. They
Yeah.
watching how you look.
Yes.
They watching you age. You gonna age. Like,
Yeah.
hello.
You have to.
Yeah.
The weight is gonna fluctuate.
Listen,
like, hello.
If you're lucky, you're
Yeah.
going to age. If
Well,
you're
If you
blessed,
lucky, exactly.
you're
if
going
blessed,
to age.
That's a blessing.
Yes.
But in female rap, people see it as the end of your days, and that's corny.
Yeah.
That's corny to me. Like that's ridiculous. And I feel like when it comes to that crown, you just have more eyes watching you. It's more pressure. It's just too much. It just be on and popping. I like chilling. I like being in my own lane.
You do.
But that crown, it just make you, you gonna look crazy.
Well, I have not
look
seen
crazy
you look crazy, and
sometimes.
I've Google stalked you, so I know all your looks. So I haven't seen you look crazy, and I think one
you.
thing that Roxanne Shanté has not talked about is you became Dr.
Yes.
Good, and you by a clause in your contract that the industry had to fund your education, and so you got your PhD. And I wonder for you, I anticipate even more success than you've already
I was just
accomplished.
I want to go back to school too. I was just telling
Now
my,
let me clear this up. It wasn't completed because they didn't finish paying for it. They only told part of the story.
Okay.
You see? But people had already, because I had already attended school and had already been going, people had already took the assumption of giving me the title, and I thank them for it. And I'm truly honored by it. But
where'd you go to
how the industry did, they still did not take care of that. So even in that clause in the contract, they didn't take care of that. Marymount University.
Marymount, okay.
Yeah, they didn't take care of it.
Well,
so I didn't want right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You earned that title.
But the thing about it is that you don't want to walk with that, because automatically people will be like, okay, well, what about this? This was said, that was said, this was said, that was said, and that wasn't. It's just the fact that when you look at Roxanne Shanté today, people say, okay, she walks like a doctor. She talks like a doctor. The goal is, when you talk to me, when you leave me, do you feel better? When you talk to me and you leave me, did you learn something?
Yeah.
When you talk to me and you leave me, do you now have an idea of where you want to go and what you want to do? Like, I don't tear down anybody's climb in this industry.
Yeah.
Never. I'll never tear down anybody's climb in this industry. The main thing that I want to see is, I want to see everybody on a path that in the end, you can invite me to your house for a barbecue and say, look, these are my grands and this is what I'm doing and these are the things that I have continued on in life with. I think it's absolutely wonderful. And now when I'm sitting here with you two beautiful sisters, one of the main things is we have learned how to take care of ourselves. You know, when I'm sitting here looking at your flawless skin, this has nothing to do with makeup, you know, because you got to have a smooth foundation in order to have a smooth face. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
So when I look at you, you know, I get a chance to see, like, okay, this is beautiful. You know, we can sit here and we can talk about all of these great things, but let me ask you a question. When you woke up this morning, how do you feel about you?
So I'm very intentional when I wake up in the morning. These are hair clips that I'm wearing in my hair. My natural hair are probably about this long. I have on lashes and makeup. And so when I wake up in the morning, I am intentional about staring at myself with nothing, with no clip, like nothing. And I want to make sure I like what I see. There was a period where I got made up. When I first started doing television, I got made up for like 2 weeks straight. And I loved it. You know, the lashes, everything was great. And then when the lashes came off and I saw myself, and I was like, damn, why ain't nobody tell me I was ugly? You know, because I got so used to this. But I got, for a brief second, I got so used to this makeup. And so now the only time I wear this makeup is when I'm going on air. And I've gone on air with no makeup before, too, because I think it's important for people to see this is what I look like. Don't try to change. I don't wake up looking like this. This was an hour and a half of makeup.
Now see how honest and truthful it is, because when you're in a comfortable environment and you're having a comfortable conversation, it allows you to reveal certain things about yourself that you normally would not, you know, reveal about yourself. I'm going to tell you how I felt about me, but I need to hear how you felt about you this morning.
I felt great. Yeah. I love my face, and that's why when I'm talking my shit online, when I'm online talking, majority of the time I'm bare-faced. Yeah. I don't be caring, and I want people to notice that too. Like, I'm showing y'all how I am, bonnet on. I just woke up. I got something to say. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very comfortable with that, and I love showing myself like that so that everybody knows, like, girl, I'm just like you. Yeah. You feel me? Yeah. I mean, this face card is different, but like, I can come out, you know, no makeup too, girl.
I love it. How do you feel about you?
You know, I feel absolutely great about me. When I think about everything that I've been through, you know, abused child, group homes, the industry very early in age, going through certain abuses in the industry. One of the things that always makes me smile is when I think about where hip hop is today. Now I'm going to tell y'all a quick story because I do got to go. But
I know I was just
I know. I'm going to tell you a quick. Let me tell you a quick
story.
But
you take your time.
But let me tell you a quick story about Roxanne Shanté. Because I had started off as a battle rapper, I had got up one morning and they said, "Listen, they're going to have this battle for world supremacy." Now, world supremacy means you're the best rapper in the world. That's it. Nobody better than you. And I knew this. Brown-skinned girl, kinky hair, chinky eyes. You know, I knew this. Like, nobody in the world is better than me. I didn't care if it was Run DMC. I didn't care who you said it was. Nobody can do this rhyming thing better than me. Maybe Nipsey Russell, but he not trying to hip-hop.
Yeah.
But nobody could do this rhyming thing better than me. So they said, listen, we got this. They're getting a check, a belt, and you get the title of world supremacy. And this can be looked up because, again, we live in a society where you can look up everything. And I said, okay, you're going to enter me? They was like, yeah, we're going to enter you. So when I got down there, now I'm 15 years old. I get down there. I said, okay, I'm going to be the best in the world. I need the world to know that the best in the world is a brown-skinned girl from Queens that done been through a lot of shit, and this is who I'm going to represent hip-hop. This is it. Mm-hmm. And I walked inside of there. And I went inside of the hotel, looked up, and on the wall, it said Roxanne Shanté versus this one, Roxanne Shanté versus that one, Roxanne Shanté versus this one. So I'm looking at the wall, and I'm saying to myself, well, nobody battles anybody else today? Not realizing, 15-year-old me, still having a heart of gold, loving this thing called hip-hop, thinking, okay, well, maybe that's just how it is. Not realizing that it was process of elimination. The whole thing was all the fellas got together and said, we got to get rid of her. So we all gonna battle her because she gotta lose to one of us. I had my little grape juice. That was like my little superpower. That was my little group home juice, this little Concord grape drink. And I would drink some grape drink and I'd get rid of him. Drink, get rid of him. Drink, get rid of him. Now I'm rhyming all day, get rid of him. So then when I look and I see we down to the last MC, when I seen who the MC was, they should have put him in the middle because I knew he wasn't gonna win. So I was like, okay, I done won. In my mind, coming from the group home, in my mind, I just wanted the money to go get me some beefsteak Charlie's. There's this restaurant called Beefsteak Charlie's. I wanted to go downstairs. I wanted to sit in the window, and I was going to eat me a steak because I had ate their asses up, and I was going to eat this steak. Because this is how you have to keep your self-esteem a certain way. Coming from the group home, being brown skin, going through all of this, you have to keep your mind has to be a certain way because people will try to do anything to break you. So I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna eat this steak after I eat their ass up, the A1 sauce. This is how it's gonna be. And I remember one of the judges. Now, these were all judges that I love and respect in the industry. And I remember one judge saying, what does it take for her to lose? So I hear them saying, like, man, she's not gonna lose. Like, she been getting 9s and 10s all day. Every time they say something, she's throwing it back at them. Every time she's throwing it back at them. She been getting 9s and 10s all day. There's no way for her to lose. So I said, so I'm thinking like, why would anybody want me to lose? Like, I'm representing hip hop. Like, this is hip hop. This is a sport. Like, this is it, And when we finished doing our rhymes, they started turning over the cards. 10, 10, 10, 10, 9. That's because one judge said, look, I just can't take her voice no more. Like, I've been hearing this shit all day. I gotta
everybody want to burst you.
I gotta give her a 9. And then this last judge gave me a 4. Gave me a 4.
Wow.
And he said, the crowd went crazy. Everybody was going crazy. And I was sad. I was like, damn. This is hip hop. I know I'm great at this. Nobody's better than me. And I've been showing it all day. Why would they do that? And I walked away and I left out of there, hating hip hop.
For real? That was your last battle?
Went back to the streets and everything. Hated hip hop. 15 years old. Hated hip hop with a passion. I still went back and made records because I had obligations with the record company, but my heart wasn't in it no more. Didn't do no more.
Because of that 4?
Didn't do no more battles, no more nothing. And I remember my little sisters thinking about, like, I'm going to buy them sheepskin coats with the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I failed because I had not had that before. And years later, I married a retired boxer. And, because we had the same type of struggles and understanding of each other. And we happened to be at an event. And he saw that judge. And he was like, I could tell, you could tell when your spouse is uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, babe, what's the matter? He's like, look who's here. And I was like, so just leave it alone. He was like, no, I need to know why he did that. He's like, yo, that changed your whole life.
Yeah.
Changed hip hop.
He said, that changed your whole life. Why did he do that? I need to know. And so I said, okay, let's ask him. And he was like, all right. So he pulled him over. So before my husband could even get anything out of his mouth, before we could even ask him, he said, I want to say something to you. I said, okay. And he said, you got to understand, at that time, hip hop was a new genre of music. They were just starting to take it seriously. Major labels were just starting to listen to us. We were just getting out of the park. We were just getting ready to start getting videos and getting everything together. Like, you don't understand where hip hop was going, and all eyes were on this contest. And we couldn't let the best in the world be a black girl.
Wow.
Sick.
So
the parallels in this
so
and
now
the
let me
election
just so let me just
is making me nervous.
So let me just finish.
Yeah.
So the best in the world couldn't be a black girl, and it couldn't be you. And
That
so
has to
that's
hurt.
why I did that. And so my husband was still a little upset about it, but let me just tell you, as black women, how we process things and how things are processed so differently. When he said that, and I thought about where hip hop is today and how hip hop has grown and all the things that hip hop has done, if Roxanne Shanté took that loss that day for hip hop to be what it is today, then it was worth it. Then it was worth it. That's what I see in me every day. Every day when I get up, I look in the mirror and I see $1 billion business. And I see being the reason for it.
You certainly were Dr. Roxanne
At least
Shanté.
one of the reasons for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because who's to say what would have happened if...
But what would
companies
happen in your life, in your career, had that
Listen,
not happened?
my children are great.
Yeah.
I'm a 2-time breast cancer survivor. I
Praise
have a
God.
radio show with 7 million listeners per day.
Yeah.
Nas and everybody just titled me the Grandmaster.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. So, and you know what it takes to become a Grandmaster.
Yeah.
So I can sit back here and still go platinum. And then I have a movie that's been viewed over 80 million times.
I watched it. I'm one of those viewers.
Thank you. One of the most viewed movies.
Yeah.
How can I complain?
I
get a chance to walk the streets just the way I walk the streets. People see me. I take pictures. We laugh. We smile. How can I complain? Everything turned out just the way it was supposed to. And I say that to say this to you. When things don't turn out the way they are, that's because that's not the path you were supposed to be on. That's not the road you were supposed to take. Your road is over here. Your path is over here. And though it may be a little longer, you may have to be a little stronger in it, but that's your fucking path.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you can't get mad when someone deviates and turns a certain way from a path that you thought, because you thought it was going to be an easy one. And sometimes easy paths are just not meant for everybody. I'm built for this.
Yeah.
I'm built for this the way this is. Even being a 2-time breast cancer survivor, I'm built for that. When they came and they told me, I said, listen, if you got to take them, take them. You're going to give me some new ones? Great. I was tired of rolling up these croissants trying to stuff them in a damn bra.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
funny.
So if you can hook me up, hook me up.
That's a very enlightened view, and I appreciate your perspective on being built for that.
That's how we got to be.
Yeah.
As black women, as women in general, but as black women, we have to look at things differently. We are built differently.
We are built differently, but we are also deserving of a life of grace and ease and love and self-love. We have to create
we have it. I mean,
ourselves.
self-love. If you
Yeah.
don't love yourself, you're gonna fizzle
But
out.
even all this outside of here, like, I hear you. Like, yes, black women are different. I think all of us probably have a path that somebody else couldn't survive,
Yeah.
especially somebody who didn't look like us.
I think it's because you come from a different era. That's why she has this view, which is, I love it 100% because you are right. You know what I'm saying? And you're right also. We definitely do deserve a softer life, you know, less struggle. But that's not how it is for everybody, though. That's not how everybody comes up.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So you're right and you're right.
Yeah. I pray for us. A life of more ease.
Exactly.
Well, we've
I
been
hope
doing
that's
a
in the
lot
future
for a
us.
long time.
Yes,
and
we
I
have.
mean, this country rests on our backs. And so
Always
when I heard
has.
you say, like, it couldn't be a woman, literally the parallel between that and our politics right now with, you know, the dearth of people supporting first black woman president, regardless of how you feel, just the symbolism of that. It is just heartbreaking. You know, I want us, at least as a community, to be able to come together in love and support.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think we need more of that. And to go back to our earlier point, I think that starts with us as women moving in sisterhood and, you know, wanting the best for everybody. And I know you have to go, so I'm not going to get in trouble, but I just want to say 10 seconds, my friends who I talked about and the friends that I've had my entire career,
Yes.
it mattered so much to me because when we fall, and as Black women, we are going to, because as you say, we're built for this, and society, they don't value us in the same way. It was so important to me that I positioned everybody around me to be doing something dope and amazing.
Yes.
If I heard about an opportunity, I'm telling the whole group chat. If I know about something that's paying, I'm telling the whole group chat, whatever we can do. Because when that fall comes, I want to look to my left and my right and know that somebody can catch me. And when I was, my show was unceremoniously canceled at MSNBC for just being a Black woman and telling the truth that made white folks uncomfortable, the first calls I got were Will Packer. So thank you, Will Packer. But also, my girl Jamel hit me like, yo, I got a deal for you that we can do this. Black women surrounded me and they were ready to catch my fall. So I just want that for all of us, and hopefully I know Black men, I don't bash Black men on this show. So I salute you, brothers, for what you all do. But I don't like the animus I'm sensing between us with our Black men. So I hope that we can come together as a community to build that life of ease. Because when I hear you talk, I still see that 14-year-old girl who's, it's a journey home to ourselves and love. And when I see you, I'm looking at your path ahead and I'm like, it's so big and bright. And I hope and pray that you have people around you who are going to lay hands on you and guide you and love you and pray for you.
Thank you.
And I just want us to do that for each other.
Absolutely.
So, I know you got to go.
I do.
Thank you all for joining. Normally I do a closing statement, but these ladies got to go. They big hip hop stars. So thank you guys for joining this episode of Across Generations. We'll be back next week. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.